You don't envy Hong Kong policymakers having seen this experience across other economies, right? What are we hearing that could be some of the ways that they're trying to get this under control?
Yeah, the outbreak is increasing pretty exponentially here in Hong Kong, and they know that they need to do something in order to get it under control. So they're thinking about doing things like increasing, tightening of where they allow people to go, perhaps closing shopping malls, reducing even further the amount of time and numbers of people who are allowed in restaurants. Most significantly, they're talking about different types of lockdowns that they could roll out across Hong Kong, not the kind of firm, hard lockdowns that we've seen across China where people literally can't leave their properties, but more along the lines of what was seen in the US and Europe and other places where everything is closed except for, say, grocery stores and restaurants, not to eat in, but to do carry out. So they're thinking about rolling lockdowns, doing them in just some parts of town as the outbreak moves. They're just really at this point trying to be creative to get this virus under control.
Well, Michelle, it's interesting from the US standpoint because in this country, it's been realized that given this path, you don't stop this virus by locking down periodically, particularly as it gets to be more transmissible. And when people are vaccinated, they stand very little chance of dying. Do you think that ultimately that's what the Hong Kong authorities will have to realize?
You know, in all honesty, I think that they do realize that situation, but the problem in Hong Kong is that it's just caught between a rock and a hard place. We know that no one in the world has ever gotten an outbreak of this magnitude under control and back to zero ever. So what Hong Kong is trying to do is something that has not ever been done anywhere. Not only that, you can still go into a restaurant and eat in a restaurant here. You can still go to a shopping mall and buy things in a shopping mall, which again, you're trying to do something that's never been done, but yet you're allowing things to happen that allow the virus to spread. So it is difficult. The problem is that in Hong Kong, many apartments are very small. It's hard to keep people in them, and they don't have things like kitchens. So how do you get food to 7 million people? It's just, it's an incredibly difficult situation, and I do think that they're trying to think creatively about it. In the end, though, you're absolutely right. The virus is going to do what it's going to do. You know, the chances of it actually being successful here is probably pretty small, getting back to zero, especially without doing the kind of hard lockdowns that they did in China.